Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Zero Daimaro here. Now, as many of my longtime fans, at least those who are still around, will know, I have basically dropped off the face of the planet recently. As far as my YouTube content goes, there's been sporadic uploads at best, and the quality of those has been middling at best. And I probably feel I have alienated a lot of my, the little fan base that I had. I feel I've alienated a lot of you. And a lot of you probably aren't even around anymore. But for those who are, I feel I owe an explanation to all of you about why the channel has been in the state it's been in lately. And I mean, I realize probably a lot of you don't want to hear excuses and shit like that. And you know, in a way, this video is going to be offering excuses, but I also hope that you guys can kind of understand and relate to some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about. Now, normally for these videos, I come up with a script or at least a point by point of what I want to cover. For this one, I'm just going to talk, so it's probably going to be a little bit longer and a little bit more rambly than other videos. So bear with me for a moment. So as I was saying, lately things have been rather hectic in my real life, and there's a lot of things I can talk about and a lot of things I can't. And I want to at least fill you guys in on what I can talk about to hopefully give you guys an idea of why things have been the way they've been lately. So, I guess first and foremost, there has been some things going on, and the specifics I can't get into here, but the basically at the end of the day, it's taken my family away from me. Now, not in any kind of like morbid death way. I just realized that sounded really bad. They've been taken away from me in that I don't get to see them every day like I was used to. Because of nothing I've done has really caused this. It's things that other people have done that we've had to respond to. But long story short, it's taken my family from me in the sense that I get to see them and interact with them on a daily basis. So essentially now I'm home by myself all the time. Um, and I'm not used to that. I used to know how to deal with that. But after having a family for so long and now them being gone, it's something that's very hard for me to deal with. Now this started months ago, and I'm sure people are saying, well, months ago you seemed to be doing just fine. Like there was uploads every day and everything seemed to be going good. And that kind of leads me to the other thing that I've been kind of dealing with lately. I have, as well as like 95% of Canadians, so it's not like it's a really massive, like, oh, eh. But I have a form of depression called seasonal affective disorder. And basically, what it's like, if you have to have depression, this is probably the form you want. But basically, it just means that as the weather gets blue, as the weather gets bad, um, my mood gets bad with it. I don't even want to say my mood because it's not even so much that, or at least it's not just that. Um, and as I said, when you hear people say, "Oh, I have the winter blues," generally they're talking about seasonal affective, and they just don't know what it is. Um, for me, it manifests in the inability to concentrate. So I will end my sentences abruptly because I completely have lost track of what I was thinking. I can't read books in the wintertime because my mind just won't let me. I read a sentence, and then I read the next sentence, and by the time I'm done the second sentence, I've forgotten what the first sentence said. And just, it makes it almost impossible to play games for me for more than, 5-10 minutes at a time because I get bored of it almost. It's really frustrating because I love games. I wouldn't dedicate, my life to video games as much as I have and wanting to dedicate more if I didn't love them, and yet I can't play them because of this. And it's really just, it drives me nuts. Now, I mean, as great as Canada's medical system is, there's still a lot of areas where it falls short, and unfortunately, problems that are affecting the mind is one of those areas. Unless you're like really, really hard off. I mean, I can still go to work and function every day. Maybe not to the level I used to, or I can in the summer. I mean, but I can still go to work and function. It's not like it's so bad it's preventing me from working. if your mental disorders are that bad, I feel for you, really I do, because I know you have it way worse than I do. Um, but Canada really doesn't do anything to support the people who are kind of in the middle of the road, like I am. Um, there are things I can do. There's medication I can take. The problem is I've never had an antidepressant that I've been on that where the symptom or the side effects of the medication weren't worse than the symptoms I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Now, as hard as that is to believe, um, it's just I've tried like 5 or 6 of them, I think, over the past few years, and just every single one of them, I'd rather just deal with a seasonal effect. If there's one more thing I can try, which might fix it for me, but it costs a fair amount of money, and I don't make a lot of money right now. And I'm not asking for a donation. I'm not even gonna give you guys like um, an avenue for that. I'm not asking for that. I don't want people's money. I mean, I don't even have ads enabled on my videos because I don't feel I deserve people's money at this point. Um, but it is something that there are things I can do to solve the problem, but I don't have the resources to acquire them right now. So it's basically down to between those two things kind of coinciding, the loss of my family on a day-to-day basis, like the loss of the interaction with my family on a day-to-day basis, and um the depression, and I know a lot of people hate hearing people talk about depression. I hate talking about my depression. It's the type of thing I'd rather just keep to myself, and maybe that's part of the problem. um but you guys, my hardcore fans, you guys know who you are. I know who you are. I feel you deserve to know more about what was going on and why things just seem to have stopped suddenly with no explanation and no introduction, or like there was no reason. Like, it just, things were going great, going great, going great, and then they just stopped. And I apologize for that. I've tried to record a couple of times, over the last few months, and sometimes it goes okay. I have a couple of RimWorld videos and another um, XCOM Long War video that I've recorded that turned out okay. And then there's been countless times where I've just started to record, and like, it's so bad, even I know I can't publish this because I can't get the same energy or the same interest for the game that I used to. And I'm trying to solve this, guys. I really am. Um and I think at this point, I want to try to get back onto a regular schedule again, but I honestly don't know how I can accomplish that. With everything that's been going on, I wish I could say, like, yeah, okay, I've been going through this, but things are getting better, and I'll be able to start posting regularly again. Um, but I don't want to lie to you guys either. I mean, you guys are too awesome to lie to like that. So I won't do that. I won't lie to you guys. That's been the basis of who I've been on everything. I don't like telling lies, and I'm not gonna lie to you now. What I am gonna tell you is that I am doing better than I was even a few weeks ago, and I don't know if this will last. The reason I'm even able to do this small, pathetic little video that most of you have probably turned off by this point, is because I'm doing better than I was, and I hope that means that I'm starting to come out of the flunk I was in. Um, I honestly can't tell you. What I can tell you is this. What I can promise you guys is this: is that I am absolutely 100% trying my best, and I will return to these series in time. Um, and it will probably start sporadic. As I said, I'm sure you guys have seen some sporadic content coming up here and there on the channel the last little while, and I'm gonna continue with that. I'm not gonna set like a set schedule for when I'm gonna upload this, that, or the other. As I make things, as I can get myself behind something, then I'll upload a video. Um, So we might have a few weeks where there's nothing but RimWorld videos, um, because that's all I can get myself into playing in such a way that I can actually record it. And then we might have a week where it's just all Dwarf Fortress, and then again, just because that's all I can get myself into playing that week. Um, I will. The one thing I don't want to promise, but I am gonna try very, very hard to do is at least one video a week of something. I mean, I realized from my viewership that most of you don't give a shit about XCOM Long War and RimWorld. A lot of you are into my Dwarf Fortress videos, and I totally get that. The problem with Dwarf Fortress uh, is that game requires so much more of my concentration than any other game I've ever played ever. And that's a good thing normally. Normally I really enjoy that. But the problem is when I'm unable to concentrate, Dwarf Fortress becomes impossible. I've tried to record a couple of Dwarf Fortress videos over the last few weeks, and I don't get 2 minutes into the episode before things just fall apart in the most horrid of ways. And I know that I'm not producing content anybody's going to want to watch. And if I can't produce content people are going to want to watch, then what's the point in producing content at all? That's kind of the way I'm looking at this one. So if you are a Dwarf Fortress fan, please, and that's going to be the series that's hit the hardest. I will, and it sucks because it's my most popular series. But if you are one of my Dwarf Fortress fans, please bear with me. If you're one of my fans in general, please try to bear with me. If you've already left, you know what? I totally get it. You know, you guys don't need to do me any favors. I'm an entertainer on a platform of entertainers, and most of them are better than me. And I fully understand that. But for the people who want to stick around, who believe in what I'm doing, then just know that I do appreciate the faith that you guys have put in me as far as that's concerned. Maybe I'm blowing this up to be more than it actually is, but this is how I think of it in my head. You guys have put a lot of faith in me, and I really appreciate that. Just it's mind blowing to me. When I see repeat commenters and people who like my videos, coming around again and again. Even if you never comment, I can see, the traffic in my viewership, and it blows me away. And I want to keep getting better as a YouTuber, and I want to keep being the person that you guys like in those videos. And I want to become a better person in those videos. I want to become a better entertainer for the games that I like to play. And for right now, if I had known this was going to happen, I wouldn't have started YouTubing until after it was already over. Until after I was out of this dark patch in my life, because I realized I'm not even a year. My channel's not even a year old yet, and it's just kind of shitty timing all around. But unfortunately, I didn't realize that this was going to happen. I didn't realize that things were going to go the way they have, and I just have to deal with it. And I hope that you guys will. I'm rambling so hard, and I apologize. But I hope that you guys will, the ones that stick around, will, continue to believe in me and continue to understand why things are not the way they were, and understand that I am aiming to get things back to the way they were when I first started this channel. And, back when it kind of hit the height of its popularity. I've been dropping off, obviously, because I haven't been producing videos, and I get that. But if you want to leave, then no hard feelings from me. I totally understand that you have better places to place your time and attention. And you know what? More power to you. If you ever want a few suggestions, I have tons of YouTubers that I absolutely love to watch. And I will gladly pass them along to anybody who asks. If you're one of the people who are going to stick around, then thank you so much, because that means so much to me. And I will strive to get things back to the point where I am deserved of your faith in me. So that's really all I wanted to say, guys. There's one more thing I wanted to pass along. And that is the work me and a very good personal friend of mine have been putting in on our indie project as of late. It's we don't want to reveal it just yet. We want to get it to the point where we have something impressive to show off before we reveal it. But we are doing semi-regular dev blogs over on coreconcept.com. I will leave a link to that in the description. So if you guys kind of want to see what we've been doing there, and that's where you guys can check us out. And we have some demos up on the website of the mini games that will be in our super secret project. They were all created by Mythion, also known as Jesse, and they're absolutely amazing. He's been covering that angle of things while I've been working more on a kind of the tools and base. I don't want to say engine because it's not the engine, but the base design of the way that a lot of the levels are going to work, which is important, but it's not quite as flashy or showy as what Mythion's been doing. So, go over, check that out if you want. I think they're a lot of fun, and what he's accomplished with with the tools available, I think is actually pretty freaking amazing too. But go check it out, and we will be revealing what that project is in the fairly close future, I would think. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say, guys. As I said, if you're sticking around, thank you so much. If you're taking off, you know what? Thanks for sticking around as long as you did. And I hope once I've kind of recovered, you guys will come back and see what else I've created. Because I'm not done with this yet. I'm not giving up. This is not a give up speech. This is, I'm down, I'm bleeding, but I am not dead yet, and I will be back. So thank you guys very much for watching this long, rambly, probably unnecessary video, and so long.